This episode of Walt Disney World Today is being sponsored by Small World Vacations, whose team of 40 agents are authorized Disney vacation planners and recommended by MouseSavers.com. They're dedicated to your dreams and your dollars. Get your free price quote from Small World Vacations by going to www.wdwvacations.com, where the magic begins.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, November 12th, 2007, and this is episode 334 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hotchford from StudioCentral.com. On the show today, we have the birthday boy, Mike Newell, Mouse World Radio. Happy birthday, Mike.
Yes. Woo! I've climbed up that hill, and now I'm heading down the other side of the hill.
Mr. President.
You're middle-aged? 28 already?
29.
29. All right.
Welcome to the Scopa territory over there.
I can no longer put it in the 31 to 39
Also on the
You're 40, really?
Yeah, 40.
Congratulations. 40 is the new 20, so.
Thank you. Now I feel better already.
You know what I like about getting older, and I was talking to Hannah about this today. I'm smarter and I have more money than when I was 20.
That's
true. I mean, yeah, I don't, I can't run quite as fast, and I can't.
Not modest though.
All night. But you know what? Smarter and I have more money. That goes a long way.
Also on the show today is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com and All Earsnet. Welcome, Mike.
Passion began to govern, and she never governs wisely.
That would be the American Adventure.
That's correct.
As usual.
And also on the show, we have Len Testa, co-author of The Initial Guide to Walt Disney World. And we should mention that Len has a new feature on touringplans.com. Len, why don't you quickly tell our listeners about it?
Oh, so thanks for the intro. Yeah, it's so we've added a feature on the website that allows users to create and share their own touring plans for the 4 Disney parks, and it's absolutely free. So if you want to, if you're like Matt and you've got this idea for the best MGM Studios touring plan ever,
right?
And it involves writing Tower of Terror 16 times or whatever, go create it on the website, share it with your friends and family. It's essentially a YouTube for touring plans. Have a whack at it. Let me know what you think. It's still in beta on the website, so there might be
YouTube for touring plans.
YouTube
Fabulous.
for touring plans. Fabulous. Exactly.
Well, as you may know if you listen to Friday's show, we're switching it up this week. We're going to be doing question shows on Monday and Friday, and our content show on Wednesday. So that means it's Monday, and we're answering your listener questions. First one's going to be from Andy from Greenville, South Carolina, who writes, Mangello, gentlemen.
Mangello.
Greetings from a recently converted Disney geek. I have my wife and your podcast to thank you for this recent transformation. I find your shows very informative and extremely entertaining regardless of what Lou Mangello says. I'm just kidding, Lou. I know you're listening. My wife and I are taking a weekend trip to the world in January 2008. Matt, I have faith in your ability to read this email on time. Mm-hmm. Planning on the weekend of Martin Luther King Day, that would be January 18th to the 21st. I've heard that All-Star Music and All-Star Movies are both sold out this weekend. I know this time of year is typically not very crowded, but I'm concerned that if what I've heard is true, we might be surprised by the crowds. I also just heard on episode 320 that all of you believe that this same weekend will not be crowded. Can anyone tell me what the crowd levels might be like during this weekend?
Only we had a calendar.
Mr. Tester?
Let me look it up on the website. I'm already signed into the website, so that's great.
Why don't you rate my touring plan while you're there?
Exactly. So this is the weekend of the 21st.
18th to 21st.
18th to 21st. We've got average crowds, 5, 6s, couple 4s.
That's fine.
In there, but basically average. Yeah. So here's the thing. The thing that saves MLK Day from being very crowded is that
it's not really honored.
No, it is. I mean, in
days off. I mean.
Why don't you take the white sheets off?
Oh boy.
Exactly. So no, I mean, there's no doubt there.
I apologize.
Exactly.
I'm sorry I said that.
It's a 3-day holiday, right? So if you're traveling from like the Northeast, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago was Christmas. You could have gone down then when everyone and their brother is off from school and from work, right?
Yeah.
For a 3-day holiday, you're not going to get very many people to travel great distances because the cost of going to Walt Disney World and just getting there the first couple days is so expensive that most people want to go for a longer period of time and spread that cost over a week rather than 3 days, right? So, especially if you're traveling, right? You're going to fly in Monday or fly in late Friday and fly out late Monday. You only got 2 days and change in the parks. Most people aren't going to do that. They're either going to save it for spring break, which is in early this year. It's in March 2008, or they would have gone in during Christmas. And that's why I don't think it's going to be particularly crowded.
Yeah. No, I think that also the other thing to keep in mind is that usually you start in January and February, you start having the cheerleaders and the dance competitions and all that.
Yeah, I think there was a cheerleading competition, right? There's a cheerleading competition, I think, that weekend.
Yeah.
But it's outside Disney. Okay, go ahead.
Next email is from Joey Phillip of Frisco, Texas, who writes, "Hi, Matt, Mike, and Len. I know I'm setting you up, Matt, for answering a question after our trip is over, but I can always hope for the best. My wife and 4 turning 5-year-old son are heading back to the world soon for 7 days.
Welcome back.
Come back.
Welcome back. Exactly.
I hope I can meet you guys down there for a Wonka bar and a Dole Whip. I guess we got that.
So hopefully that was October and not June, but okay.
All right, this question is totally bad. He just wrote us an email and says, Len, you are right. Lou is a wuss, and if you can't make the Tower of Terror run, but I guess his Oompa Loompas outfit just isn't clean yet.
Oh, my.
Oh, man. Oompa Loompa.
Poor Lou.
Next email is from Tim from Cape Cod, who writes, "Hi, Matt, Mike, and Len. As always, great show. I listen to it faithfully. Mike Newell, as a fellow tech, I can appreciate the time that goes into something like your podcast, so keep up the great work."
Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm taking
for the
Hey.
things are just incredible.
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
He's mumbling again.
Stop talking over my compliment.
That's right. So I'm taking the family to Walt Disney World in the spring, and the dilemma is when to do it. I'm looking between March and May. After listening to episode 219, Matt's comments have nearly convinced me to go in early May. I'm thinking, keep the kids out of school and go. What the heck? It's not like there'll be a difference between Harvard and UMass. Would you gentlemen, and too, Len, agree that March, April, and May are all things considered, May is the better month? Thanks for all your help.
Tough to say. You've got grad nights during May, too, don't you have grad nights in May?
No, April.
Just April?
Yeah.
I would say first 2 weeks of May are perfect.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say,
Yep.
too, and I'm looking at the
I've been
calendar. Yeah.
Ooh,
Actually, it's like the last, maybe if you got in around maybe the 27th, Sunday, April 27th, really anything from then on looks good.
I say the second week, go there. You're fine. Pull the kids out. Next email is from Anthony, who writes, "Hi, everyone. I really enjoyed your podcast. I was wondering if you allow guests on the show."
Yes.
It depends on the Anthony.
We've done it, so technically the answer is yes.
If he drives a Ford Mustang and has a little cat named Jack, he's welcome on.
We have the live shows, and that's really the best opportunity to get on there. But if you think you have a good suggestion for a show talk, we brought them on in the past, email us. And we will definitely, if it's a great idea, we will definitely bring you on. Next emails.
Right at the email, but whatever.
Whatever. You'll be on eventually. Next emails from Andy, who writes,
Fill it for Len. Sorry.
Who writes, Len,
Nothing?
one of your tips got us a magical moment. We went to watch the afternoon parade from the Sleepy Hollow Inn. While waiting, my daughter played hopscotch in the street with kids and cast members. She came back, and then a cast member came over and asked our quote-unquote Princess Rebecca and us to follow her onto the bridge. We were turned over to another cast member who walked us to a roped-off sitting area just over the bridge. He gave Rebecca 2 Tinkerbell pins, one to keep and one to give away. Rebecca did later when a girl gave her back some money she had dropped. We then got to sit in the area and watch the parade with no pushy crowds. Since only park cast members were opposite us, all the parade cast members and characters came over to us and played with the kids. My daughter was wearing a blue dress, and one of the Aurora fairies, Flora, tried using her wand by tapping Rebecca's head to change her outfit to pink. It was wonderful.
Oh, that's great.
We tailored the touring plans from the unofficial guide to what we wanted to see at the parks. We got lucky with many fast passes. The timing worked out just right.
Cool.
One quick question, though. We're hoping to go possibly back around Christmas 2008. Hopefully, this is far enough to ask. When should we book rooms? We'll probably stay in a value resort. Thanks, guys, for the podcast. Now a loyal listener.
For Christmas now is probably a good idea.
I was going to say.
Christmas 2008. The thing is, you only have to pay for one night's stay to reserve it. So that's really not, especially at a value resort, you're probably looking at around between $100 and $150, depending on what the peak season or holiday season is going to be.
Right.
For the peace of mind of knowing you have a guaranteed reservation, that's not a lot of money.
Probably closer to 200 though, Len, I'm guessing, for a value. I mean, for moderate or for value?
Value.
Oh, value, you're okay, yeah.
Yep. Next email is from Mark from Laconia, New Hampshire, who writes, my family is planning a trip in November. My mom and stepdad haven't been to Disney since I was a high-energy 14-year-old. This This is around the same time that Scopa hit the big century mark, or better known as 1995 to the common listener.
Nice.
They have never been to any of the sit-down restaurants, so what would be a nice place to treat them? If you're going to if you guys had to pick one sit-down restaurant to kind of impress them, kind of, with someone who's never been before, I'm going to go with, I would say Jico. If you're at the resort.
You like Jico, and I
know. We have to go back to it, Len, so you can come back to the Believers.
You buying?
I'll buy you.
We have to go back there, Len.
That's a no.
Yeah, what I meant by that was you can buy again, and then I will definitely show you how good the food was.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, going back to the last question real quick, it looks like it's between 129 and 139 a night for that deposit. So still less than 100.
Yeah.
Maybe around 150 with the tax.
200 here.
But go back to this question on the restaurants. If you like Jico, so is price an object or?
Doesn't mention it, so feel free to go crazy.
Citricos, Narcoossee's, Victorian Alberts. Those three in the Grand Floridian. I like. I haven't been in Narcoosse's, but I definitely like Citricos. I'm telling you, they did a banana cheesecake that was just bang your head on the table good.
I'm just trying to think. I usually, when I go to Disney World, with my folks who are not fans of the park at all, I brought them to two places they really enjoyed. Was Italy before it turned over to Tutto Italia and Jico. So those are, although I can't really recommend Tutto Italia quite to the extent that it was before. But that's my pick. Scopa, do you have a quick pick?
Well, I'm guessing when you want to impress someone, do you want to impress them with the food, with the service? There's a whole bunch of components there. I guess in thinking about this, 3 restaurants came to mind. Not that they're my favorites, but I think California Grill would impress someone. I think that only because they seem. It's
granted the setting is the food's not bad and the setting is good. Okay, I'll give you that.
And just the service. I know we got a tremendous service in August. I think that that would be one. I got to go with Le Cellier only because I just think that the servers in there are just really, really good. Mm-hmm. And for the third one, although the food was not that great, the service at Tutto Italia was pretty good. They were falling all over us.
Service was good, yeah. I think part of that has a lot to do with the fact that they're not getting the volume of business that they had prior.
Mark has one other quick question. Can we still make ADRs even though we're staying offsite at a vacation home recommended by the unofficial guide?
Sure.
No, there we go.
Ding, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make a reservation staying offsite.
Oh, yeah.
Next email is from Ryan Smith of Rochester Hills, Michigan, who writes, "Hello, gentlemen. I just have a quick question for my upcoming trip in October 2007, or whatever year you just want to put in here.
Or whenever you're going
Whatever. I'm trying to plan for how much cash to bring with me, and I'm wondering what the transaction fee is for ATMs at Disney, and in particular, Scopa Towers. Is it an outrageous as a gentleman's club, or is it reasonable? Thanks in advance, and always for a great show."
It's
I don't really know what it is in a gentleman's club.
Oh, come on, let's mess up.
Oh, really? Is it a lot? I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine. I could take a guess.
Is it like in a casino? Because casinos are like $3.50, $4, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Are you saying Hushberg? You know it's more in a gentleman's establishment?
I'm trying to get back to the question here and say about Disney World.
I think it's either $2 or $2.50 in the at the ATMs. I know I looked at it last year and it was $2, so it's in that range, $2.50, something like that.
Unless you're a Chase
it's not
customer.
outrageous, but it's not cheap.
If you're a Chase customer, it's free.
Right.
Well, there you go.
What you want to do is you want to go as few times as possible.
Right.
Grab a chunk of money.
Ryan also wants to know: is the build your own lightsaber worth it, or is it just another piece of junk or something? Or is perhaps something I can actually...
that's funny you mentioned the build a lightsaber. I tried this with Hannah, and again, I have a degree from graduate school, right? I'm in Mensa. I could not put the freaking lightsaber together. I swear to God. I don't know what it was. I tried. We were there for almost 15 minutes. I could not put the lightsaber together. I don't know.
The force is not strong with this one.
The force is not strong in me, yes. I don't know if the force was telling me that I shouldn't have a lightsaber or what, but I tried to put one together and couldn't. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I've
heard nothing but glowing reviews about it. So
for from the 8-year-olds that were able to do it.
That's right.
Glowing,
Yeah.
glowing reviews.
Glowing.
Oh, no, that was unintentional. Unlike
Yeah.
somebody on this podcast who might have taken advantage of that.
That's where I was going.
Next email's from Joe Carvalho of Danvers, Massachusetts, who writes, "Hello all. A few months back, I posted the following question at the Walt Disney World website and the question was about the policy about using infrared lights on video cameras on dark rides. Disney wrote back and said, while we allow video cameras inside our theme park, some areas prohibit their use. In these instances, the attraction will be clearly marked prohibiting their use, and it will be announced prior to the start of the attraction. So the question from Joe is, have any of you run into this issue using video cameras? I know if I consult an attraction host or hostess, they'll recommend I'm just going to get a look like I have two heads, and they'll just tell me lights are not allowed.
But it's an infrared light, right?
Yeah. I found that if they here's the rule of thumb that I use. If they specifically say no videotaping, then I don't videotape. If they say no external lighting, I just don't turn the light on my video camera, and I can still record. So the infrared light would be okay in that case.
Right, because it doesn't.
They don't want those like huge like
Klieg lights.
Yeah, the floodlights that are like coming out of your thing. That's what they're trying to avoid there.
Coming out of your thing.
Coming out of your.
Speak for yourself.
Well, he does live near a nuclear power plant. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah, so it's early.
Anyway, next email's from Chris Corson, who writes, "Gentlemen, was listening to episode 302 where you discussed paying for parking as a seasonal pass holder. I'm a Florida resident seasonal pass holder, and I do have to pay for parking. In fact, on the sleeve they give you to hold the pass, it states that you have to pay for parking. This almost makes getting a full pass worthwhile, as the price difference is about $100, and I go more than 10 times in a year. Parking, as you know, is $10. Just thought I'd shed some light on it."
Parking's $11,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
9 trips, yeah. And if you got an annual pass, you're going more than 9 times, because
if you have a seasonal pass, yeah. Next email is from Michael Ruth, who writes, "Matt and crew, now I understand Scope were probably served in World War II, and as such may harbor some lingering resentment against the Japanese, but why, whenever you guys are discussing food options at Epcot, do you never mention Japan's kakigori stand? I personally discovered kakigori, which is shaved ice, during my honeymoon in 1985 to Hawaii, and it was immediately left enthralled. This was no ordinary snow cone, which is generally tiny chunks of ice, but this was like snow crystals which melted on your tongue, a rare delight back then. I found it again in 1988 in Tahoe, and then sparingly up until now when I find it in many flavors resorts at amusement parks. It comes in a myriad of flavors, albeit the stand in Japan is quite limited to a handful, but I believe it's still only about $2.25, which makes it one of the cheapest treats in the parks. So I stand firm that this oversight by Walt Disney World today should be rectified, and the Land of the Rising Sun can stand tall again as the purveyor of shaved ice, a scintillating burst of flavor to the taste buds. I prefer strawberry myself. And the serving size is enough for 2 small children. I await your humble apologies for this oversight."
I think we've said primarily mostly good things about.
I never tried it. I haven't tried it
in
before.
Japan. I mean, in addition to the sushi, at Yakitori House and at the restaurants at Teppan Edo, you can also buy like the dried squid stuff in the store, right? All the little snacks, the exotic snacks in the store. Those are always fun as well. In terms of the shave ice, though, you guys have done that before, right?
I have done it before.
The wasabi peas and stuff. Yeah, some of the stuff is fairly exotic. It's not bad. My sister Christina usually will get me for Christmas an entire stocking full of stuff from Japan, which is really cool. In terms of shave ice, I don't like fruit flavored cold desserts. I mean, unless it's a pie or something. And that's why I never go to. I know people rave about it and everyone loves it. I just don't like snow cones or anything even like that. It's all sticky, syrupy mess to me.
Well, to each their own. I'll have to try one out and see how it is. But
if they had like a caramel flavored one, I could do that.
Of course, it all comes back to the caramel at the end.
Exactly.
Time for one last question. It'll be coming from Nick from Freehold, New Jersey, who writes, "Greetings. I know it's not quite the holiday season yet, though I'm sure
yes, it is. It wasn't when you wrote it, but anyway.
Though I'm sure the first Very Merry Christmas party is just around the corner, but I thought since a lot of people were planning their holiday trips now, it might be a good time to ask about Candlelight Processional at Epcot. Disney has released the list of narrators, and there are a lot of returnees and some new faces. I was wondering who some of your favorite narrators were. Are there narrators you find better than others? I'm very partial to Felicia Rashad, who is on the CD, but also enjoyed Ben Viren a great deal for a couple of years.
Ben Viren?
Ben Viren.
Ben Vereen. I saw
Ecos
him.
Bills, Ben Viren, same thing. And of course, there's also Mike Scopa's stirring rendition of Mouse World Radio. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts on your favorite narrators as the holiday approaches of the insert correct year here. Keep up the great work. P.S. If we miss the holiday season altogether, insert a random Easter question instead.
Happy New Year.
Scopa, who's your favorite or favorites?
I have seen Ben Vereen, I have seen Phil Donahue, and I have seen Motley Matlin, believe it or not. And Ben Vereen was, he was as if he used to be a dancer,
Who's
actor. Yeah, and he, it was like being at a gospel, session or whatever. He was really, I think he overdid it. I think Phil Donahue did a real good job. He was very reserved. I think he did a good job. Marley Matlin was kind of strange because she had her interpreter there, and so she was signing, and he was the one who was reading. I've heard that Robbie Benson is pretty good, and I've heard that Gary Sinise is good.
I saw Rita Moreno 2 years ago, and I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah, but those are the only ones that I'm aware of.
I heard that Neil Patrick Harris did a really good job last year
in his TV show or at
that too. Because I do actually. That's the only show I watch is
Doogie Hazard Update.
No, forget the Doogie Hazard thing. How I Met Your
Mother.
About the Big Bang Theory. I like the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, that's good, but he's not on that show. So, right network, wrong actor. Anyway, I heard he did a great job. I heard he was very friendly to a couple people he had met. And had done did a pretty good job. So
Doogie,
it's not Doogie. He's so far beyond that. The dude is just so funny. He's got impeccable timing.
He was good in what was that movie? Super Troopers, or the movie about the space movie. He was in that one. Space Troopers. Someone's gonna get me. Starship Troopers. Thank you.
You're forgetting the fact that tell me, in terms of comedic timing, the guy is very, very good.
Starship Troopers, baby.
Whatever. He's saving CBS. The show is way better than the ratings indicate. The show is freaking hysterical, and it's largely because of him.
This episode of Walt Disney World Today is being sponsored by Small World Vacations, whose team of 40 agents are authorized Disney vacation planners and the recommended by MouseSavers.com. They're dedicated to your dreams and your dollars. To get your free price quote from Small World Vacations by going to www.wdwvacations.com, where the magic begins.
I guess I don't have a favorite.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
Yeah,
like
I was
Pete
going to
Best.
say.
Yeah,
Where's the theme music? Come on, let's go. Let's finish this up.
Yeah, I didn't even hear him say that's it for today.
I got things to do.
Hey, while you guys, you have to apologize. I forgot to go check on Dawn, but don't just cut me off like I'm leaving or anything.
For Lentesta. Come on, go. I got things to do. Come on.
So, Mike, what do you think? What are some that have stood out in your mind?
Well, we stopped recording already, so.
We stopped recording. I apologize.
I'm sorry I said that. Come on, finish up. Let's go.
If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com.
I do have a favorite, too.
Mike Scopa and Mike Newell. I'm Matt Hodgberg. We'll see you on the next show.
John O'Hurley.
John O'Hurley.
Hi-ho! Kermit the Frog here. Join me, Fred Block of Magic Meats, and all my Muppet friends during MouseFest for Muppet Meets on Friday, December 7th at 4 p.m. in front of Muppet Vision 3D, located at the Disney MGM Studio. For more information, visit magicmeats.com. See you there!
This is Mouse World Radio.